The object of the game.
Hey gamers, today we're taking a look at Tiny Epic Kingdoms, a game for 2 to 5 players that plays in about 30 minutes, designed by Scott Almes and published by Gamelyn Games in 2014.
It is a time of great opportunity. New lands lie ripe for the picking. With your guidance, your people can become a mighty empire. However, other races share the same ambition, waiting to strike at the first sign of your weakness. You must move quickly and decisively to claim what is rightfully yours. As the saying goes, you can't make a kingdom without breaking a few heads.
The object of the game is to win.
You win by getting the most victory points. Victory points come from your level on the tower card, your highest level spell in your spell book, as well as any points from the 5th level spell if you've attained it, and your number of meeples out on the world. If any of these reach max level, so 6 on the tower, 5 in your spell book, or 7 meeples out, then the end of the game is triggered. Finish out all the actions for the round, and then the game ends.
Setup. The tower and action cards go in the middle. Place the 5 shield tokens next to the action card. Each player will take 7 meeples, a war die, research and tower token in a single color. They also get a set of 3 resource tokens. A faction card. A group will decide whether they want to have players each select their own or randomly deal these out. And finally, a terrain card. These will be randomly dealt out, but the player may select which side to play on. The player places 2 meeples on one region on the card, their research token below their spell list, the tower token below the tower card, and they pick 6 resources distributed among the 3 types. For starting players, it's recommended to use 1 ore, 2 mana, and 3 food, but you can adjust this based on your strategy. In this case, the Valkyrie is going to select 2 ore and reduce themselves down to 1 mana. Finally, select a starting player in any means you wish. We've randomly gone with the Valkyrie.
A round consists of 5 turns, regardless of how many people are playing. Whoever has the player marker will get to select one of the 6 actions on their turn. Place a shield onto the action you've chosen. Once that action's picked, it cannot be repeated again during the same round. Whoever chose the action has the option of either doing whatever that action is, or passing and doing nothing. Clearly, you want to do something if you can. Everyone else has the option of either following and doing the same action as the chooser, or gathering resources. Once all players have made their choice, the player token moves on to the next person. That person chooses an action, and so on, until 5 have been performed. That ends the round. Clear the card, and whoever gets the token next will have free choice of any of the actions again. Special note for 5 players. Normally, everyone gets a chance at first pick. However, with 5 players and 5 shields, the order would be fixed. So to avoid this, every time you clear the card, the player marker will move 2 spaces instead of 1. If the game end is triggered during any point of the round, regardless if it's by the tower, by magic, or by meeples, then the round will be completed before the final score is tallied. Once the trigger is hit, though, it cannot be reversed by any of the remaining actions. The game will end.
There are 6 possible actions: Patrol, Quest, Build, Research, Expand, and Trade. Patrol and Quest are movement actions. saw your meeples get around and possibly fight other meeples. With Patrol, move one of your meeples to an adjacent region on the same territory card. Rivers, lakes, crags are impassable. Because of this river and the lake, the orc could only patrol to the mountains. Quest. Move one of your meeples to any other territory card. The meeple must move from and to a region that touches the outside edge of the card. The Valkyrie here could not quest. The halfling can. Note this slight edge on this card that allows the halfling to go there. Whenever you move a meeple, there are some things you need to keep in mind. A region can never have more than 2 meeples in it for any reason. Also, if you try to move in with another player's meeple, you just started a war. A player's last meeple may not be involved with a war, so moving in with them is off limits. What is this war you speak of? It's not all just peace and love? No. You need to crack a few heads to build a kingdom.
In war, the meeple moving into the region is the attacker, where the meeple that was already there is the defender. Both sides will take their war die and select a value on it. These 12-sided dice are numbered from 1 to 11 and also have a white flag symbol. This indicates an offer of peace and is absolutely free. For any other value, you're going to need to be able to pay for it using either resources or any bonuses given to you by your spells. For purposes of this example, the orcs have their 3rd level spell, which straight up gives them +1 war power. Once both players have decided, the dice are revealed and they need to pay the costs. And not all resources are created equal. In war, magic is worth 2 power, ore is worth 1, and food is absolutely worthless. So, here, the orcs have 1 to start with, plus 4 ore, plus 2 from a magic, gives them 7. And the Valkyries basically have to spend everything they've got for 3 magic plus 1 ore to make their 7 power. Ties go to the defender, so this was a pretty silly fight for the Valkyries to get into. They need to retreat or die. In order to retreat, you need to spend food equal to the number of meeples you have in play. Valkyries have 4 meeples and thus would need to spend 4 food in order to survive. That would bring them to an adjacent area. But since they're currently lacking, their meeple just gets removed back to the supply.
Instead of choosing to beat each other up, players may offer peace. Orange moving in here, if both players show the white flag, they may have made an alliance. Both meeples stay in the region and may collect resources from it. On a future turn, they can freely choose to leave it. In war between allied players, if either does not offer peace, then the alliance is broken. The result of this war is applied to all regions their meeples share. With Gray moving in here, if Orange decides enough is enough and breaks the alliance, Gray must now choose to retreat or sacrifice their formerly allied meeples in the order of their choice. If the breaking alliance would cause a player to lose their last meeple, and they cannot afford to retreat a single meeple, then they may keep 1 for free and place it in the nearest unoccupied region.
The next 3 actions, build, research, and expand, all allow you to pay resources to get shiny new things. These are also the 3 actions that trigger the endgame. Build allows you to spend ore to move yourself up on the tower track for victory points. The price is equivalent to whatever the tower level you're moving to. So, Orange wanting to go to level 2 will need to spend 2 ore. Next, research allows you to learn a new spell. Again, the cost is equivalent to whatever level you're moving to. So, moving to level 2 costs 2 mana. Keep in mind that you retain access to all the spells you've learned previously, and that the fifth and final spell is a special way for your faction to gain victory points at the end of the game. Expand lets you trade food to make more meeples. The cost for a new meeple is equal to the number you will have on the board. So, since orange has 5 already, it will cost them 6 to get the 6th meeple. The meeple is then placed into any region where they already have one. But keep in mind, you can only have 2 meeples in any given region. That includes alliances. So, if you have nowhere to put your meeple, you can't expand.
The final action is trade. Trade allows you to give up any number of one resource for an equal number of one other type. For example, Valkyrie could give up 2 mana to gain 2 food. You may not adjust all 3 resource types with one trade action.
When choosing to collect resources, in lieu of following another player's action, you gather 1 resource for each region that contains your meeples. Having 2 in a region doesn't actually help you. It still only gets you 1 resource. Food comes from plains, ore from mountains, and mana from forests. There are also 2 special types of regions: the ruins and capital cities. The ruins allow your meeple to collect 1 resource of their choice. However, it comes at a risk. When you enter the region, your meeple is laid down on its side to signify that it is exploring. While it's exploring, you can't actually move out of the ruins. You have to use a patrol action to stand him back up. However, while he's standing in the ruins, he's too busy trying to find his way out in order to actually gain any resources. That region becomes useless to you. You can use a move or quest to make him leave later on. However, if you've got a meeple stuck in the ruins at the end of the game, he is lost to you and worth no victory points whatsoever. Capital cities don't make any resources. They are instead valuable at the end of the game. If you control it, then you get 2 victory points. If you share it in an alliance, then you instead each get 1. If you have done so poorly in war that you are down to your last meeple, you are awarded 1 pity resource. This is anything of your choice. Note that your resource track only goes up to 9. If you gain any extra, that is just wasted. So, make sure you spend it as you go along.
2-player setup. A 3rd territory card is placed in the middle of the table as the Lost Kingdom. Each region is populated with a single meeple of an unused color. They are considered neutral. Players may invade the Lost Kingdom by starting a war with a neutral meeple. To win, they must pay a war cost equal to or higher than the current number of neutral meeples remaining in play. If Orange moved in here, they would have to spend 5 war power. Doing that, they take the neutral meeple and place it next to their territory card. The neutral meeple is worth 1 victory point. If you can't win the fight, you can't start it. Additionally, each region in the Lost Kingdom controlled by a player is worth 1 victory point.
If you'd like to add a bit more random chance to your game, you can use the optional exploration tokens. Game setup starts the same way, but once players have selected their starting regions, shuffle up the tokens and place 1 face down on each region that doesn't contain a meeple. Now, in a 5-player game, you won't have quite enough of these things. So, you're going to want to remove 1 of the blank tokens and then populate 3 regions on each territory card. When a meeple moves into a region with an exploration token, It is immediately revealed and resolved.
Crown. Whoever can hold on to this until the end of the game earns 2 extra victory points. However, holding it makes you a target. If you ever get beaten in a war, you must also surrender the crown to whoever bested you. Treasure. Bonus pretzel. Immediately gain 2 resources of your choice. Bandits. You're gonna have a bad time. Lose 2 resources of your choice, or the meeple who foolishly walked into danger. Blank. Yeah. I got nothing, and neither do you.
The remaining 5 exploration tiles are all buildings. When you find one of these, it sticks around and grants you a bonus while you control it. Dragon's Lair. Unlimited power! If you control the lair and defeat another player in war, you can choose to sabotage their tower. Lower the enemy's tower level by 1, and the defeated unit retreats for free. If there's nowhere for them to run, so much the better. They lose their tower level and their meeple. Camp. Supplies! A region with a camp generates an extra resource of its type. Fort. This time you've got the point at stake. Controlling the fort reduces your war costs by 2 when attacking other people. Town. Inns, ale, and wenches. Controlling a town is worth an extra victory point at the end of the game. And finally, the church. Life after death. If you control the church and lose a meeple in war, you can instead move it directly to the region with the church in it. After this, the church is removed from the game. It can't be used if you've already got 2 meeples hanging out at the church.
Thanks for watching. If you have questions or comments, please email us at info@objectofthegame. For more videos, visit our website at Object of the Game. Note that's objectofthega.me. Thanks.